I want to introduce you to Yinch and Sean from RP1, who make amazing technology, a radical metaverse tech that will hopefully help you all to create amazing experiences. Please welcome Yinch and Sean to the stage.
Here we are. This is an absolute amazing time in the XR industry. Really think about this. For decades, we've been building technologies for this future, more immersive experiences, and now we're being validated by large companies like Meta and even Apple coming out with a new headset. They're basically saying the future is going to be XR technologies and enable new experiences that were never achievable with today's technologies. Think about the promise of the metaverse. The metaverse has been a term being used in many, many different ways. I really believe it's actually turned into an adjective, really describing any experience, anything that we share. And a lot of people don't really understand the true concept of the metaverse. And really, the truest vision is really just the next iteration of an immersive web. The idea that the same way we open up a browser and seamlessly can move from one website to another, that we can actually go into an immersive world and move from one immersive experience to another seamlessly. I believe we're at that Blockbuster Netflix phase. And imagine Netflix one day went to Blockbuster and said, the future is on-demand content, no waiting. And Blockbuster couldn't see that because they were big, they were making lots of money, and they didn't understand where the puck was going. And right now, we're in the stage where we're used to downloads. Think about this. We have to download, install, create an account to be able to get into some type of an experience. It's very different than just opening up a browser and instantly going to a website. And I do believe the future is taking real-time applications and allowing them to instantly have access, connecting everyone on the planet the same way we do websites. So the metaverse is not a game. It literally is a foundational of standards and protocols that are going to enable real-time experiences the same way that we enable websites to exist. And really think about it. It's going to be social media. It's going to be video streaming. It's going to be e-commerce. It's going to be video games and training and work. And so I really want you to think about this. Imagine being able to go to work to some company, an address, and instantly be connected to the people that you do work with. But then when I want to play a game with my son, I can easily meet him in another location, the same way I moved from Amazon.com, and now I can go to another website seamlessly. And the promise of the metaverse is to enable this whole ecosystem to work. But for it to happen, you're going to need new technologies to make it possible. So why is it not here yet? Let's really think about this. Right now, we do have the ability to scale for social media. Social media can scale everyone on the planet, allowing us to connect to anyone at any time. There are no limitations in who I want to follow, who I want to share information with. The challenge is it's asynchronous, meaning it's not real time. And we look at the bottom right, you look at, well, what can we do with real-time technologies? And we're stuck in the 15 to 100 person people connected in a single ecosystem that are disconnected from all other experiences. And so if you think about what do we need for a metaverse, we need the ability to get up to the upper right quadrant where we can have the scale of social media, but the ability to connect a massive amount of real-time applications and share it seamlessly on the web. So the metaverse is truly a convergence of what people already know and need. Social media scale, real-time interactivity, streaming on-demand content, and true XR immersion and presence. Especially presence. Really think about this, and this is what gets, I think, the entire industry excited. When you go to a website, you're stuck in an ecosystem where it's very flat and you're not able to interact people the same way we do in real life. And when COVID took our ability to connect with people, we had more demand to figure out a better way. And that's truly what the XR industry is about, is to make those experiences as close to real life as possible. Not to replace them, but to augment it when you can't be somewhere in real life. The idea of even having an event like this to replicate the true scale and the ability to connect with everyone seamlessly is something that is truly sought after. So, RP1, radical new technology to enable this to happen. We've created two major problems to actually enable the foundational piece of the metaverse. The first one is cost. How do you actually make one server be able to do what 1,000 servers can do? And the importance of this is to drive down the cost so that it simplifies the ability to build immersive real-time applications at the cost of a website. That's really the goal, because that means everyone can participate, and you create an ecosystem that can grow for the masses. And so our technology enables us to run a massive amount of users literally on a single computer. But that's not the most important thing. That helps the cost. But the biggest challenge is, how do you connect a massive amount of computers together to create one seamless, persistent ecosystem? And so right now, we're stuck in I call the skybox days, the ability where we have very small experiences with a small set of users, but there's no way to connect those experiences to other companies, other experiences that are built. They're all siloed. And it makes it very hard for consumers to move in and out of experiences. That's actually what makes the World Wide Web so powerful, is because once you learn how to use a browser, I seamlessly can find anything built by anybody. And right now, we have an identity crisis on how do I get consumers to find the content that I want, and how do the professional companies know where to build where the consumers will be. And so the challenge is how do you build an ecosystem where, instead of each of these experiences being completely separated with data and information, how do you create an ecosystem where everyone can participate? And so RP1 has built a technology where we can link as many computers together. Not only can we do more on a single computer, but we have full linear scalability across a horizontal platform where we can link every single person on the planet to enable you to easily go from one experience to another seamlessly. Imagine you would like to build a store, you like to build a business. How do you seamlessly click a button and move to a different experience and instantly share your data and your avatar information and your audio seamlessly? It's one of the hardest problems in developing these real-time applications.
Now, Sean has said some extraordinary things just before. And when he first met me and spoke to me, and I heard his webinar, I said, this is too good to be true. I said, Sean, you're crazy, okay? I genuinely thought this. And when he contacted me and said he wanted to speak, I said, I will speak to Sean to find out, how can this be true? Because as a developer that's worked in DirectX and Unity and on the web doing mobile apps, making multiplayer is hard. And what Sean said in his webinar when I first met him were numbers that were far beyond the scope of what was credible. So I thought, he must be mistaken. So I took a meeting with him. And the plan with the meeting was, I was going to speak to him and say, Sean, you're crazy, please go away. That was my whole plan. I left like 30 minutes. That was all the time I was going to spend with him. But he showed me a system with extraordinary efficiency. Amazing. Nothing is close. And the great creator of this system, sitting in the back there, Dean, and I was in a meeting with him, and I was just gobsmacked. The system seemed truly unbelievable, but I saw it running. And although it's unbelievable can happen, just like we see with the way that Falcon 9 rockets can land like within seconds of each other. So, why are you here? Why are you in this room? Why do you travel to this place? It's because reality rules. It gives you immersion, you get a sense of the space, presence, we are in the space with other people, connection as we speak, and also serendipity, seeing people as they walk past, and all these are things that reality gives us. So the question now, and we've heard this said a lot, is the metaverse dead? We've heard people ask this a lot. But really what people want to know is the metaverse alive? And the answer is, it will be. Because immersive apps are evolving. Just as Sean mentioned earlier, things go from being offline to downloadable and eventually to streamable. And that's happened with music, it's happened with videos, it's happened with images. And what we believe is going to happen is that apps themselves will also become streamable. We already see web apps for non-immersive things, but we believe that direction will continue into immersive apps as well. To achieve this, we need metaverse-first thinking. It's built on existing web standards, but also filling in the gaps with additional protocols and creating new protocols to enable the metaverse. A new set of tools for building blocks are required to deliver streamable apps, because current apps are not designed to do it. A lot of apps you're using, design tools you're using, were written decades ago for offline, for pre-render, for downloads, for disks. But a change is coming and new tools are required. But new standards and protocols are fine, but it's like a cart with no horse. We need new technology to meet the needs. Standards are ideas and ideals. It takes technology capable of delivering the vision. We need technology that is scalable, extensible, accessible, and also sustainable. We don't want to burn the planet to get there. Because with the right technology, the cart is going somewhere. Although we don't know that we need it, everybody needs the metaverse. Now, people who have tried the various things which claim the metaverse have come back and said the metaverse is boring. From the consumer's point of view, there's not enough content, there's no single place, there's no single entrance, lots of accounts to set up, and when you get there, there's not enough people. From the developer's point of view, it is very boring to do the deployment, spin up an instance, find this bid, sign up that bid, and it is expensive and the scale is limited and development is complex and slow. So the metaverse is boring. And we are faced with a situation where developers are trying to find a way to make content, to get more users, and users are looking for more content to participate in, but nobody wants to be first. Consumers say there's not enough content, and developers say there's not enough users. And so we are stuck in a chicken and egg situation. Because ultimately, content is king. What we need is somebody to prime the pump. So we need a metaverse where it's ready to go with batteries included. Instant access via the web, unlimited scale for VR fidelity multi-user, spatialized audio for presence, and universe scale mapping, and it has to be sustainable and cost-effective, which is where RP1 comes into the picture. We are building a system that is built to build by anyone for everyone. RP1 takes care of the boring so you can focus on the interesting stuff. All the boring parts of development and deployment, we'll take care of it. We're like housekeepers. We just make sure that you don't have to worry about the dishes. And our mission is to give developers the platform they need for streamlined creative invention, because that's what you're good at. RP1 wants to create a space in which you are able to build like Lego or like cook in the kitchen or build any furniture you want in a workshop or paint any picture. We want to support creativity and creation. We want to make making easier, faster, and cheaper. But we know you've got lots of options, so why should you try RP1's framework? We believe it's a framework that produces quicker results, it's accessible by many users, it's extensible, you can add your own code and services to do what you need, and you can build and share experiences easily with anyone in the world. And it lets you to make more things in the metaverse. You can create streamable XR applications so people can get to your experience without having to install anything, without having to go through the app store. We are creating a framework that lets you build apps, change the front end, and also lets an extensible server-side architecture that lets you connect your service to apps and your service to other services through a streamlined layer. And you can build whole new platforms using RP1's foundations. You can create new capabilities and categories for new ecosystems, and it is the foundation for either verticals, if you want to build a specific experience, or for platforms or horizontals where you want other people to build on top of yours. We just want to give you the tools to make whatever you want. RP1 is about delivering more features and creating fewer barriers. Out of the box, you get unlimited scale for as many simultaneous concurrent users in the same world at once. We are packaging it with unlimited spatialized audio, so you can speak to anybody who's near you. We also have full XR fidelity, so your hands and fingers, your facial expressions are all transmitted as part of your presence in the metaverse. We also have a mapping system which is as big as the actual universe. So if you don't like the planet you're on, find another planet, build another planet. And also it's instant access via the browser. We also believe that creators are very important to the ecosystem because content is king. So we will also support no-code and low-code editors through our protocols. And it'll let you connect to services via web protocols, which already exist. So you don't have to build everything from scratch. We are also creating a layer that lets you connect to things which already exist or to new services. And we have an application framework that lets you add more front applications as well. And it will be cheap, because cheap is important. To get a head start, we are introducing the activities tab, which enables rapid development. There'll be a studio level for people who want to create things casually with no code for builders. There'll be a design suite of tools for people who want to make 3D models or create other assets in space, in the spatial arena. There's an app builder that lets you WYSIWYG design your own apps things like similar to Blueprint or Bolt in Unreal and Unity. And also for people who want to get right down to the code, there's also an Activity SDK to access the API directly. There's also a model foundation layer that lets you connect to services and between services for a streamlined user experience so that you don't have to log in each time you go to a different location. And it's all built on an open source protocol, which we will be publishing. If you come here looking for answers, I have good news and I've got bad news. The good news, or the bad news, is that I won't be building the metaverse. I don't have the answers. We are just laying out the tools, and the good news is that you will be building the metaverse. The metaverse is built, is defined by whoever builds for it, just like the web. And we absolutely believe that our role here is to enable you, to empower you, to release you, to build what you need to build as quickly, easily, and cheaply as possible. And there's more good news. The way we are building the system allows you to own your own data, you can publish what you want, you can share direct access to your experiences with a URL, and it'll be up to 1,000 times cheaper than other real-time application systems. We believe that our role here is to unlock metaverse creation. We are not the water, we are the gate. You guys are the water. And who will build for the metaverse? We believe the metaverse will be built by anyone for everyone. Open source framework protocols and code templates will be provided. Designer tools for you to rapidly build assets will be also part of the system, and it'll be creator-focused tools for builders. And just to be clear, we are building outwards from open source protocols, and although we are providing these tools, anybody who uses these protocols can also add to the tools. They can add to the capability and functionality of the system very easily. So come help build the metaverse. The open source framework will let you build more than just rooms. You can build whole worlds, you can build tools for the system, you can build platforms, you can build marketplaces, services, payment systems, moderation system. The list is not complete. The list is completed inside your head. You will have ideas that you want to put in the metaverse, and we're here to help get you there.
Thank you so much, Yinch. Yinch has been an absolute amazing. We have 3 amazing architects on the system, and they've been working around the clock to achieve the technical difficulties that have been challenged by some of the largest tech companies on the planet. And it's quite exciting to have a very small team knowing that we have quite a trajectory, but that trajectory is meaningless without getting the adoption of people that care about the future of the metaverse and how it brings everyone together. So it's not just RP1 to announce that we have exciting technology, it's us to help bring everyone together with an olive branch where everyone can bring their different expertises to partake in it. It's not about creating a walled garden system, it's about creating open standards that allow everyone to participate at every level. And if we can actually make it 1,000 times cheaper, imagine everyone will be able to participate the same way anyone can build simply a website. I would love to invite you to experience our demo at our booth. We have a system that is capable of 100,000 concurrent users. The reason why we stopped there is really budget. Obviously, as we continue to increase users, we can increase the amount of computers and hubs around the world, seamlessly bridging everyone together in any type of application. As Yinch mentioned, it will include obviously the real-time spatial audio. And I have to tell you, we have shared this in private ways with a lot of VR pioneers. And the one common thread that we were able to hear, it was the first time they were actually able to feel presence in a VR setting. Think about that. Typically, we're stuck in a skybox with a limited amount of people, but imagine being able to walk around an entire open world that is completely endless, and you can be connected to anybody. And at our booth, you're going to have the capability to put a headset on and actually roam around a massive amount of users with full proximity spatialized audio and be able to see a massive world and explore what that presence feels like. And it can open up the ideas of you building your own quote-unquote websites. And so the idea is that we're going to have full 6 DOF, which means we can fully track all head movement and body movement. We do have legs, very important. And we have full eye spatial audio, and you'll see the system automatically tracking every single user in the system and instantly sending that data through the headset. We're also streaming over the web, so this is not a pre-compiled download experience. This is something that you're going through a browser and instantly hitting the servers and seeing a real-time application at work. And it is demonstrating our universal scale mapping system, which is extremely important because you are not going to be able to have a pre-compiled metaverse. You can't download the entire internet. You need to be able to go to a specific place and get the information that you need to know based on your proximity and the people that are around you. And that is the power of developing a new system that is looking at the bigger vision of the metaverse. Now, I know the industry has thought about this idea a couple years ago, and they basically said, well, you know what? It is decades away. We have to wait for hardware to solve the types of problems that we're describing. And so guess what? They have now focused on what we call a federated metaverse. The idea that I will build my own siloed experience, and we will build bridges in between these experiences. But as if we look at the history of technology to get all these legacy systems to cooperate and create interoperable standards, we know that's not going to happen, in my belief. And I think you have to, when you're thinking about an immersive web, you must start from scratch and solve the technologies that will enable everything to be built on every capacity where everyone can participate. So our booth is just on the top right, as we can see in the map. We obviously welcome you all to come over the next 2 days. I'm really excited to meet every one of you guys, and we're happy to answer any questions and go over further detail on what we're doing. We are excited that I think in a couple of months, so we're looking to then launch actually the first beta where developers can come in and start building pieces to the system. Obviously, we are looking to partner with many great companies, individuals, and if you really think about the beginning of the web, it was really hard people to grasp what the power of websites were. And a lot of people didn't even think the internet would make it. But a lot of great companies like WordPress and other people came in and said, I see the viability, but there are billion-dollar businesses to be built on top of these types of standards and protocols, enabling an entire ecosystem. And we're here to share with you that I think we can empower the next ecosystem of true presence and immersive applications, all coexisting with each other through the power of the web. No more precompiled downloads where anyone can come in and instantly connect with anyone on the planet in any activity that they want to, no matter what avenue it's coming from. And so I would love for you guys to join us to build the future. I would love for you, we actually have a QR code, allows you to instantly get into our Discord. We're using Discord to communicate with the community the best we can with the team that we have. And I would love for you guys to join and be able to ask questions. Obviously, we'll continue to send information as we hit different roadmaps and eventually get everyone to be able to come in and share their experiences. And obviously, we would love to get the feedback and continue to build the standards and protocols that will enable the future immersive web. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. So we have about 2.5 minutes. I'm happy to take on questions. If there are some questions from the crowd, I'm more than happy to, hopefully Yinch and I can answer them. The light here, will go right here, and then we'll go in the back. So, sure.
You just have to speak loud. Yeah, I'll speak loud.
Yep.
So, number one problem that you touched on that I didn't see brought up is cost, the streaming cost.
Yep.
I mean, we deal with millions of users.
Yep.
And it's prohibitive. As the volume, poly count goes up, videos, media content becomes terabytes per second that end up getting streamed. I mean, we work directly with AWS and Azure all the way to the top. How is this paid for in terms of the streaming?
We have started by finding a way, and this is only just the beginning. We are currently solving the audio stream problem, which is a big chunk of flow, and we have a way where regardless of the number of users that are in the system, the bandwidth consumption per client is fixed. So we've created a very linear and flat. We don't have, and we have edge servers for CDN.
Yep. So to solve this problem, I think it takes a rethink on how you actually build the architecture. I think when you take current technology and the way they're developed, you're going to get the most out you can out of compute, which then drives the cost and the streaming capabilities. I think you still will have a challenge with, let's say you want to stream or cloud streaming, cloud GPU streaming. You're still going to have that one-to-one. We're talking about our system will work with all the above, but we are focused on client-side rendering, where we're making it basically making it very easy to transport data to be able to have a real-time application to run. The idea of running, let's say, Unreal, there's a reason why Unreal left the web, because they have massive file sizes, and it's extremely prohibitive to run stuff like that. You can run it in the cloud, but again, some of the costs that you related. We're coming at it a different way. Let's start with actually figuring out how to stream real-time applications and have the graphics continue to increase as web GPU and other technologies that empower the browser to catch up with native apps.
Yeah, it sounded sort of crypto to me, going for the
Oh.
fractionalized use of server-based.
Yeah, so this is not crypto-based. So I look at crypto as a tool that could be used on RP1. Okay, yes, fair enough. Yeah, so the entire front end will be open source, and so all the activity stack, our servers, all the code that enables you to build tools and interact with the system will be fully open source. The only thing that we're going to obviously keep as a trade secret in the beginning is just the type of technology we're running on our servers to enable the type of scale that is 1,000 times more efficient than anything that we know on the planet. And at some point down the road, it just enables us to help build an open metaverse versus people taking our technologies and building lots of walled garden systems that we can compete with. But at some point, the goal would be is to open source everything so that everyone can see all sides and continue to make the technology much better. Thank you. I appreciate that. Any other questions?
Are you working with any groups like the Open Metaverse Forum or any other kind of standards organizations to try and push this forward?
So yes, so we've joined. I think the challenge is I think there's a lot of different concepts of what the metaverse is. And I think those forums have decided not to define it and really allow an open dialogue. It's challenging to say, hey, wait a minute, here's the definition of a metaverse. Because I think, again, it goes back to the idea of a metaverse being an adjective, right? Imagine if everyone ran around building websites and announcing they just invented the internet. It makes it very convoluted and very hard to understand what we're building. We're trying to set a roadmap of really what the metaverse is and what it's going to take to build, and hopefully people will join with us. It's something that we would love to get the groups involved, but it's obviously a challenge for a small company to get a lot of big voices to join a new cause or a new pathway to a bigger vision.
From the grassroots up, I'm on the OMI Discord, and I attend the meetings that I can to see what standards are going on, because we are trying to, as we said in the slide, trying to use standards that already do the job. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, but wherever there are gaps, then we will, we'll build on top of that rather than replacing it. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you very much.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back at 1:25. Many questions. I'll see you on the Discord.